So it seems like everybody's an AI expert these days, right? They're all giving out advice, but let's be real, a lot of it can actually hurt your business. We keep hearing that AI is going to change everything, but the how? Well, that's buried under a mountain of hype. So let's jump into an explainer that cuts through all that noise and separates the smart sounding advice that'll set you back from what you actually need to know. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We're breaking it down into a really clear 5-part playbook. We'll start with how AI impacts your people, then move to your strategy, your process, and your toolkit. And then we'll land on the big one, where the real AI advantage actually comes from. I mean, you can't escape it, can you? It's just this endless fire hose of AI tips, tricks, and things you must do. The problem is, a lot of this advice is basically a trap. So in this explainer, our whole goal is to filter out that noise and give you the stuff that's actually going to work for you, not against you. First up, let's talk about the single most important part of any business, your people. This is not about replacement, folks. It's all about empowerment. You've probably heard this one, maybe whispered as some bold, futuristic strategy. Fire your team and replace them with AI agents. You know, these automated programs that can do specific jobs. It gets pitched as the ultimate move for efficiency. But here's the massive fundamental flaw. Business is human. An AI can't build a genuine relationship. It can't walk into a sales meeting and feel the energy in the room. So the fix is the crucial part. You use AI as a co-pilot for your team. You train them, you show them what this tech can do, and you empower them to do the best work of their lives. And here is another piece of advice that sounds so tempting but is just terrible. Let AI handle all your customer service to save a few bucks. On the surface, it seems logical, doesn't it? But your customer conversations, those are absolute gold mines. That's how you find out what's broken, what you should build next, and what real problems people have. If you cut that off, you're basically flying blind. The smart approach is a hybrid one. Let AI handle the easy, repetitive stuff, but you always keep a human in the loop for those complex, high-touch moments. Because business isn't B2B or B2C. It's H to H, human to human. And this analogy just perfectly sums up the last big people mistake, thinking that AI is just for the tech department. Saying you don't need to learn AI because it's not your job is like refusing to drive a car because you're not a mechanic. I mean, come on. For the first time in history, we have a technology that's programmed in plain English. If you can talk, you can use AI. Everyone on your team should be getting their hands on this. Now that we've got the people part down, let's zoom out to the big picture. AI in your strategy. And the key here isn't to chase every shiny new piece of tech. It's to focus on timeless business problems. This might be the single most dangerous piece of advice floating around out there. Just let AI make all your business decisions. It's basically outsourcing your company's entire future to an algorithm. And the flaw is just huge. AI hallucinates, and I mean, it literally makes things up with 100% confidence. Plus, by its very design, it's built to give you the most probable, middle-of-the-road, average answer. But great companies aren't built on average ideas. They're built on gut feelings, innovation, and intuition. So what's the fix? Use AI as a world-class research assistant. Let it dig up insights and analysis. But before you make a $1 million decision, you better have your experienced humans verify every single bit of that output. And this idea extends to things like brainstorming. Look, AI is fantastic at summarizing what's already out there, but it can't have a true vision for the future. It can't do what Henry Ford did and look at a meatpacking plant to invent the modern assembly line. Real innovation, that often comes from connecting two completely unrelated fields, and that is a uniquely human skill. Okay, so from the high-level strategy, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the day-to-day. Section 3, AI and your process. The mantra here is so simple: fix it manually, then automate intelligently.
There's this huge rush right now, this pressure to just automate everything in your business. Go, go, go.
But here's the thing. If you automate a broken process, all you get is a faster broken process. The smarter way is a really deliberate 3-step approach. First, you have to fix your process manually. Do it yourself. Get your hands dirty. Second, by doing that, you learn what actually works. And then, and only then, once it's proven, do you bring in AI to automate the biggest bottlenecks you found. Now, speaking of process, there's this really interesting concept you have to avoid. It's called context rot. This is what happens when you think that more data is always better. If you feed an AI way too much junk or irrelevant information, it just gets confused, and the results are garbage. It really is like giving someone 10 different maps to find one single address. Clean, relevant context, that's everything. So you've got your process dialed in. Now it's time to talk about the shiny objects. Section 4, AI and your toolkit. The golden rule here, use the right tool for the right job. So much of the hype is all about the tools, and people follow this really bad advice. Start by picking the coolest new AI tool. That is completely backward. The much better way is to start with the problem. Figure out a real business problem that's actually worth solving, and then you go find the AI tool that's built to solve it. And what this means is you're not just going to have one tool. It's just like your phone. You have different apps for different things, right? You need a specialized AI toolkit. So, for example, you might use a model like Claude for creative writing. Why? Because it's known for having a more nuanced human-like style. Then maybe you switch over to Gemini for deep research because it's so good at pulling in live info from the web. And ChatGPT, it's a fantastic all-rounder for all sorts of specific creative tasks. The whole point is to match the tool's unique strength to your specific job. And one last thing on tools. This is a big one. Please don't just copy and paste prompts you find online. Generic prompts will always give you generic output. Your real power comes from deeply understanding your own business, your process, your inputs, and then crafting custom prompts that reflect all of that uniqueness. Okay, let's pull all these threads together in our final section, the real AI advantage. It really boils down to one simple idea. It is not the tool, it's how you use it. This is the most important point of all. Just having AI doesn't give you an edge. Everyone has it. Your true defensible advantage, your moat, comes from combining AI with your unique process, with your team's relationships, and with your hard-won expertise. That combination, that's the thing that nobody else can copy. So we've covered a lot of ground, from empowering people instead of replacing them, to focusing on problems instead of tools. And I want to leave you with one final question to think about. Out of all these ideas we talked about, which one of these mindset shifts did you need to hear the most today?